All right, step 3, Ben. We did step 2, which is face the music. Your music's not bad. I gave you a nice little ditty. I mean, I'm not worried about where you're at. A lot of people, when they face the music, when they start and get a grip with reality, they're shocked at how much they spent. They're also shocked a lot of times at how much they paid in taxes, right? You're in a spot where you and your wife have just got married, and so you guys are just getting started on the path, and you're not in the hole. In fact, you both have some savings, which is fantastic. But there's a couple areas, really one specifically for you guys, and this is step 3. Step 3 is stop the bleeding. And we have to plug the hole. So wherever the hole is just draining and sinking that boat, right? So water is just, and if you don't plug that hole very quickly, you could sink your ship. And so we're going to plug the hole. You have one hole is meals and eating out, and we're going to plug that hole with cash. Now, here's the principle. Cash, Dave Ramsey's a big fan of cash, right? And I think once we look at your budget, a lot of times you have to use cash for everything. That's kind of the Ramsey way. A lot of people are like, I'm only using cash, freaking out, right? Well, your budget wasn't bad. You pretty much know your numbers. You have a pretty good idea of what's going out. You're not a big spender, doesn't look like. You're not just going and spending everywhere. It doesn't look like your wife's a big spender. And so we don't need to freak out on the entire budget. But we need to freak out on one part of the budget that needs to be corrected, and that's eating out. And so for that one part, we're going to emotionalize your money. We're going to make money feel like something, because I want to retrain your mind to say, hey, stop it, cut it out, right? It's gone. And so we're going to plug that hole that's you're leaking out of right now with cash. So for meals, for the next month, here's my challenge to you, and I want you to do this for a couple months, but for the next month, don't eat out at all with your card. When you go to Taco Bell, which I see, when you go to Crumble Cookie, which I see, wherever you go, and Claire's got to be on board with this too, okay? You cannot use your card for eating out. You have to use cash. Now, you spent 3 times more than you had budgeted for in your cash category. In your budget, which we'll do in the next couple steps, you have room in your budget. You guys make a good amount of income, and since you're just married, your expenses are pretty low. And so you had said you only wanted $100 for eating out. Not going to happen realistically. You're going to hate the process. You're going to hate each other. You're gonna start fighting about this. You have room in your budget to increase that. Now, does it need to be 3 times? Maybe not. But you and Claire need to sit down and say, how much do we want to spend on eating out this month? Here's what we thought we spent. Here's what we actually spent. We have a little bit of room in our budget. How much do we want to actually spend on this? And then whatever that amount is, you're going to take out in cash, and you're not going to use your card ever one time for eating out.
Sounds good.
Can you do it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Nope. Not a good enough answer. So if what we're trying to do is create good habits, right? If you don't fix the small problems, they become very big problems. And $300 expense becomes a $3,000 expense. I've seen it in my own life. As my income has increased, my problems have increased significantly. You always think like, hey, if I'm making 50, once I make 100, it'll be a lot easier. Once I make 100, once I make 250, it's gonna be a lot easier. Once I make 500, it's gonna be a lot easier. No. The money goes just as fast, just in a lot bigger chunks.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so if you don't plug the hole with cash right now, those little problems are going to become very big problems down the line, and your boat's going to sink.
Sure.
So if you want to get off of, we don't have a fire right now. We're not burning. This thing's not burning. But it is leaking fluid. And we got to plug this hole. So you got to use cash for this. So
putting out the future fire.
Putting out the future fire today. Putting out the future fire today. So here's what I love too, right? Even if you decide to say, you know what, $300. That's how much we spent last month on eating out. This month we're going to do $300. We have enough in our budget to be able to eat out and spend $300 eating out. I still want you to take cash out for that $300.
Sure.
Because now you're going to realize and emotionalize where you're spending it and what you're spending it on.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen is you're probably not going to spend $300.
Really?
Because you're going to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be emotional. It's not just going to be easy. You're like, you know what? I could probably just go home. Not worth it. I don't feel like having to get cash out and get change.
Sure.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden you're realizing, I mean, how often do you're just driving, you're like, I'm a little hungry, and you just pull into Taco Bell? That happen?
Yeah. couple times a week, probably.
all the time,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just easy. Yeah, I'll just swipe the card,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It's not emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna think about it.
Yeah,
You're
for sure.
driving Taco Bell. You're like, do I really need
Is
that
it
right
worth
now?
it?
Is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to whip my wallet out. I have to get some pennies and nickels and dimes.
Hurts a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Turn it over.
Just enough for you to think about it. I want you to think about it. I want you to think about where you're spending your money.
Sure. Yeah.
That's all we're doing here. So you got to commit to it. You're going to commit to it?
Yes.
You two together are going to commit to it. So figure out how much you want to spend on eating out and get that out in cash. You have cash enough to pull it out all at one time. You don't need to wait and do it twice a month
Mm-hmm.
or once a week. Sometimes I recommend, if you don't have a lot of cash in the bank right now as you're getting going, pull out that money once a week if you need for cash, or pull it out once every paycheck whenever you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough in the bank right now. It's okay for you to pull out that whole budget, whatever that budget is, between $100 and $300. You can pull it out of your bank account, and now you can have that cash in your pocket for the remainder of the month. Okay, so take that, use cash, stop the bleeding, and then you're done with step 3 of the prosperous path. And if you do that, then we can move on to step 4. But if you don't, sorry,
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, good. Like it. Good.